Premier Salon and Premier Spa feature the ability to run reports to help accurately measure your business performance. With so many at your disposal though, you may wish for some guidance on which reports do what. So, my name's Edgar and today I'll be guiding you through your reporting options. Reports are generally run in Premier Manager, so firstly log into the Premier Manager application of Premier Spa or Premier Salon. As with any area where you are extracting sensitive information from the system, please make sure you have a password set up to ensure the correct people can access this data when necessary. This also includes any data needed from the marketing menu, as you can run reports for marketing data as well as use reports for future marketing data. Reports will generally look at the numbers from the system, whereas the marketing menu will be looking at the client data from your system, but often do go hand in hand. Whilst today I am showing the Premier Spa application, the details will be the same in Premier Salon, just that there will be slight differences regarding your reports on services, rooms, and medical details between a beauty and hair type business. General report details. To access your reports, click into the Reports section. On the left-hand side, you will see a list of all the reports available to you in your Premier Spa or Premier Salon system. These are broken down into sections to make it easier to find each type of report, although it is likely you will only need to use a percentage of those available. There are plenty for you to pick and choose for your spa or salon, however. Each report will have their own list of criteria on the right. You can then use these to filter what information is shown when you run the report. For example, under the Income Center Revenue Overview report, we can first set the dates to run the report for. The drop-down list will present a list of date periods from today all the way through to year to date and last year. Once you have selected your date range, you can then edit the dates in the boxes on the right if you wish to run the report on a more specific period. As the system data is never deleted, you can run a report for as far back as you need from owning the system. Each report features different filters you may wish to use. So whilst you may not use the Staff drop-down menu for Income Center Revenue Overview, you will need to use this for staff-related reports like Staff Overview Business. The Staff drop-down will enable you to select a member of staff you would like to run a report for. Similarly, the Treatments drop-down menu will let you select any specific treatments to report on, if not all of them. Should you click Selection, you will then be able to use the ellipsis, that's the 3 dots, to then allocate staff to the report. Highlight them and then click the single right arrow to allocate them to this. This will then make sure you receive a subtotal of details for each staff member. Click the green tick once you are done. Similarly, you may not use the manufacturer and category filters for staff, but you will use these for a stock-related report. Stock sold by manufacturer will enable these filters for use. The manufacturer filter will let you select the manufacturer of the stock, whilst category will let you select the type of stock the item is. Using another example, the stock sold by staff member will let you select both the staff and stock filters. Any filters you can use will be highlighted in white, whereas any filters not applicable to your report will be highlighted in yellow. On the right, you will see a top filter. This is useful to prioritize items in a list. Using the Stock Best Sellers by Quantity report, you can list the top 100 best-selling stock by quantity, for example. If you would like to know which items aren't selling in comparison, change this top number to the highest available number, in this case 999. You will then be able to see the least sold items at the very bottom of the report. Beneath the filters, the report description will then outline what the report is useful for as per our own definition. For example, the Income Center Revenue Overview report will outline that the report shows each income center number, description, and its net value, grouped by income center group. You can then also input your own description in the User Report Description box below. This might outline when you want to use this report and why. Printing a report. Once you are happy with your report selection and filters, you will have several options to export this in the bottom right. The printer button will produce a digital copy. Typically, running a report will produce a summary of the data from the selected filters. Using the Income Center Revenue Overview report, we can click the printer button to create a digital copy. As this is a financial type of report, the summary will show a breakdown of income center groups listed in bold and income centers below it. The value will then be listed for each income center in addition to the total at the bottom. Click the red cross to exit the report. Click Show Detailed Report if you would like even more details. To show you how this differs, we will check the report again with this option ticked. Here you will see that the report now lists every item that was sold through each income center and group instead of just a summary. This works the same with other reports too. For example, a stock valuation report summary will show totals for the manufacturers and categories, whereas the detailed version will show each stock item and their totals. Once you have created a digital copy of the report, you may wish to print out a paper copy. To do this, head to the top left of the digital report and click the Print Report button. You will then be able to select your printer, how many copies you would like, which pages you want, and then print this out. Alternatively, you may wish to save the report on your PC. To do this, click the Export Report button in the top left. You will then be able to select the format you would like to save this, such as an uneditable PDF, Microsoft Word, or even as an Excel spreadsheet if you would like to edit the fields. Importantly, you can choose to save this as a CSV file, allowing you to import this data into a different system. After, use the Destination drop-down to select where you would like to save the file to, such as your desktop. Click Disk File if you would like to do this. We generally recommend you save this to a safe and secure destination with a clear, identifiable name. You can also open the file directly by selecting Application from the drop-down menu. This may be useful if you would like to preview the data or edit this in, say, Excel. Click OK when you're done. You can then attach this file to an email if you would like to send this to a third party. There are also other methods to print your report. Using the popular Stock Sold by Staff Member report, you can create a graph of the data. Click the Graph button in the bottom right to do this. This can show a graph, a bar chart, or even a pie chart depending on the report and type of data it produces. The reports can also be exported for marketing purposes. For example, using the Client's First Visit report, you can click the phone icon on the right. This will send an SMS to each of the clients produced in that report. Similarly, the envelope icon will send an email to those clients. Click the envelope button and you will see a list of all available clients from the report filters. You can then click Print to export the report or export as a CSV output if you so wish, but we will cover the marketing options more in depth in our marketing video. For now, click Email and use the filters to show valid only clients. You will then receive a prompt to confirm the volume of messages you will be sending. Click Yes to finalize this and a preset email template will then be sent out. Report favorites. If you feel you're likely to use a report on a regular basis, then you can add this to a favorites list. The favorites list will be unique to each user who logs in too, so you can create your own list of favorite reports that may differ from your colleagues. To add a report to your favorites list, click to highlight the report you plan to regularly use. In this case, we will use Redemptions Outstanding. Next, head to the bottom of the screen and click Add to Favorites. You can then click the Favorites tab at the top to easily find the report. If you would like to remove the report from your favorites, you can then click the Remove from Favorites button at the bottom of the Favorites tab. Reports from Reception. The majority of reports will be in Premier Manager, although you can run specific ones in Reception, such as your end of day. Along the top of your Reception diary, click the Reports icon. You will then be able to select the date range from and to, such as a previous day if you weren't able to run an end of day report at that point. You can also use the Staff drop-down menu to select any specific staff if needed. Under Report Name, you will see several other report selections, which will generally be those that will prepare you for the next working day. For example, the Confirmation list will give you a list of clients due in tomorrow so you can contact them to remind them of their appointment. Other useful reports here are Bills Analysis Payment Methods for bringing up bills for the day, for projecting your figures, Staff Appointments for planning tomorrow, and so on. Click the green tick once you're ready to run the report. Once you have run your reports, you can then run the end of day procedure at the top of the screen. This will display the actual figures and the anticipated figures of the date selected. This report can also be run in Premier Manager. Breakdown of specific reports. Takings. Back in Premier Manager, in Reports, we can now look at breaking down some of the sections and any particularly useful reports. The taking section will be based on monetary takings at the end of a set period, for example. With this in mind, the first report to highlight is the End of Day Review. Click End of Day Review and then select the dates range you would like this report to be run from. A handy feature is that should you input a start date, the system will automatically assume the end date is in the same year, so unless you manually input a year, this will default to the same year of the start date. Click Print to preview the report. You will then see a breakdown of the values taken for that period. Use the arrows at the top to then cycle through each page. We do recommend using this report at the end of each day, with the current date selected, as this provides a breakdown of transactions gone through that day and a total of those transactions as shown at the top by client. The bottom right shows a further breakdown of payment methods for those transactions, which includes deposit redemptions such as vouchers, package redemptions, or prepayments. The final page will show a breakdown of the specific items purchased under their income center groups. You can then choose to export this or print this as before. Reports such as discounts given and petty cash will show what monetary values did not go through the system should you need them. The petty cash report will show specific income centers and income center groups that any petty cash items went through to be as transparent as possible. The Income Center reports will provide a variation of the End of Day Review, where you will see a breakdown of items specifically by each financial income center you have set up for your items. Meanwhile, the Income Center groups will show a more simplified version of this, as this will provide a breakdown via the groups that the income centers are a part of specifically. All the reports under the Revenue section will feature the income centers and income center groups in one way or another. To give an example of this income center's report structure in mind, let's head over to the Stock section. When you run a report on, say, each item of stock sold, this will show in the report via the income center for the stock's revenue. You can also view the subtotals for each category of stock under each income center in the report. For example, you may have set up an income center for tanning products, which will be under an income center group for retail. These can be set up through the Financial menu. We show income centers and stock-related reports more in depth in our Advanced Stock webinar video. Breakdown of specific reports. Revenue. The Revenue section of reports look more at your turnover. The Income Center Revenue Overview report, for example, will provide that financial breakdown. This report was shown earlier in the video. Meanwhile, the 7-Day Revenue Overview report will provide a financial breakdown for a 7-day period. This will show the income center groups at the top, with the bottom part showing the payment methods for each day of that selected week. This report would be run when you would need an overview of your takings for that business week. The Redemptions Outstanding report will help break down all types of deposit methods taken. You can also measure these separately, such as vouchers, prepayments, and courses under other sections that will be shown later. Breakdown of specific reports. Statistics. Heading down to the Statistics section, you will see a report titled Items with No Income Center. As the title suggests, this report will provide a list of items with no allocated income center. It is useful to run this report to catch any items that may have been missed out when running your other reports, in case an item has not yet been allocated to an income center. Should you not wish to miss any items for retail or treatments, it is recommended you run this report or even income center items on a regular basis. The Income Center Items report is a reliable report to run, as this will show you all the income center's other items and their allocation. As shown here, you will see a list of income centers in numerical order set up in the system. In this example, you can see the None section first, followed by treatments, then retail income centers. The None section will show you all of the unallocated income center items. As the acrylic infills is a sales item, we would in this instance go back to the Financials menu and then allocate this to the correct income center, which is retail. Without doing this, any retail report would miss this item off and be underreporting the details. Other reports you may wish to use on a regular basis include Top 25 Services. This will provide a report on which of your items are performing particularly well. This is useful for measuring any key performance indicators or KPIs. The Additional Appointments report is useful for finding out who has been upselling appointments the most. This measures any upsold treatments once the client has arrived for their treatment. There are various waiting list reports. These can provide details for clients waiting for stock to come in or waiting on specific treatments. The waiting list reports measure whether you are potentially losing revenue due to people being put on a waiting list, therefore meaning you are unable to fulfill those sales. This is particularly useful if you are looking at situations where you have limited staff available, limited employees trained to do those treatments, or even limited equipment. The breakdown of this information may help you decide whether it would be worth employing additional staff, purchasing further equipment, and so on. Breakdown of specific reports. Deposits. Premier Spa and Premier Salon feature reports that can measure deposits. The 5 areas of this are vouchers, courses, packages, prepayments, and future payments. Using the Vouchers section, you can use the Vouchers Sold report to view what gift cards or vouchers were sold during a selected period. Vouchers Redeemed will provide details on vouchers that have been since redeemed over a given period. Vouchers Outstanding will provide details on vouchers yet redeemed as of the current date, whereas Vouchers Outstanding as at will provide these details from a certain date in the past. Finally, Expired Vouchers will provide a list of vouchers that have either already been expired or will be expiring in the future. This report is incredibly useful for seeing a list of expired vouchers, which you can then go into gift voucher tracking in your system and void them to prevent further use. For those expiring in the future, you may wish to use this report so you can then contact those clients via email or SMS to remind them that their expiry date is coming up. As gift vouchers are often passed on to new clients, this would encourage that loved one to nudge the recipient into the salon and encourage further business. The same idea applies with the Courses section, providing a breakdown of a course of treatments purchased together for future use. Meanwhile, Packages will show similar details for a package of treatments put together to create an experience. Prepayments will technically be shown under the Clients section. This will show any payments made for appointments before a client's arrival, as well as those redeemed, outstanding, and so on. And lastly, if you would like to measure all types of deposit in one report, then the Redemptions Outstanding report would best suit this. This can be found under the Revenue section mentioned earlier. Breakdown of specific reports. Stock. The stock reports can show a variety of reports for stock items used, delivered, and sold. Stock sold by staff member will tell you precisely that. It will provide a breakdown of who sold what item of stock. Stock sold by manufacturer, on the other hand, will show a breakdown of stock sold by which manufacturer they have been listed under in your system. You can also measure what are the best-selling items of stock. Depending on what information you would like to prioritize, you can measure the best-selling stock by quantity, value, or profit. The Stock Valuations report will list what items you currently have in stock. It is recommended that this particular report is run in the Show Detailed report format on a regular basis to give you a good idea of what items you then may need to reorder. This can then be exported and saved in a folder with the date it was run on, useful if the finance team or your accountant may ever need to use it. In comparison, Stock Used will provide a list of items that have been used throughout your set time period. This is also useful for seeing what items of stock are on the low side. The Stocktake Adjustments report will show what has been adjusted to give the current stock levels following a stocktake. Ultimately, all of these stock reports will help with stock auditing. Breakdown of specific reports. Staff Rooms. The Staff Rooms reporting section will generally show how busy those areas are. Staff Hours Analysis, for example, will show you how busy a staff member is during their set period of work. This can help show you if they are making the most of their working hours in terms of clients booked in. The same can be applied to the Rooms Hours Analysis report, which will show how busy the rooms are for your treatments. This will show objective figures for which staff members are using which room at which time. This report may help show if you need additional rooms for particular treatments or for a set period. If you wanted to produce an appraisal type of report for a member of staff, then the Staff Overview Business Report is the one for you. You can then select the date range you would like to measure in addition to selecting the staff member in question to produce a report showing what treatments they've carried out, their takings, and how busy they are. To view just the takings of a staff member, then click Staff Snapshot Takings. This takings report will show you the figures based on the amount taken each day, such as what new business was brought in. Another way to view these details is via the Staff Snapshot Revenue Report. This could be useful if you don't mind how the treatment was ultimately paid for, but you are more interested in the total turnover. This could include the redemption of a deposit, gift voucher, and so on. You can then set the date period to measure this for and click the Print Preview button. The Staff Snapshot report will show a variety of useful info at a glance, presented in a column per every staff member. You will be able to view the total takings for a set period, any white space in the diary, the total number of clients seen, cancellations and no-shows. The final section will show the appointments carried out by number and value. This report is useful for quickly seeing staff performance compared to other members of the team. Breakdown of specific reports. Clients. The final report sections are related to clients. This includes the prepayment section mentioned previously. The future appointments report is useful for showing what appointments are booked in for the future. This will help you plan ahead based on what is booked in, helping to provide a value and projection. And finally, for more marketing purposes, you may wish to run a report on clients last visited, clients first visit, and new client retention, which is for new clients who haven't returned for a while after their previous booking. There is also a variant for existing clients under client retention too. This will help show how good your staff are at retaining clients and whether you want to market to them to bring them back. You should now be all brushed up on reporting in Premier Spa and Premier Salon. For even more features, why not reconfigure your software to Salon by Premier Software? For more details, visit www.premiersoftware.uk/salon-reconfiguration. Alternatively, you can call our team on 01543 466 580 or email at sales@premiersoftware.co.uk. In the meantime, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel at Premier Software for weekly videos? We also have several social media channels for you to follow for regular content. Before you leave, check out our other videos and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching and take care.